Okay, so this is part two of our conceptual lectures for stability and control. So having already discussed now the different fundamentals and yung aircraft stability, we now move into the mechanism that actually allows the pilot to command the airplane. Okay? Kasi stability on its own um, determines how the aircraft reacts, tama, when disturbed. Flight controls, on the other hand, provides the pilot with the ability to actually and intentionally change yung ating aircraft's behavior and attitude. So, yung purpose ng flight control system natin is to modify different aerodynamic forces and moments acting on the aircraft. So through those forces and moments, yung pilot natin can command the aircraft into different motions along yung three axes natin. Tama? Yung longitudinal, lateral, and vertical axis. Again, important to note or important to remember is that yung flight controls natin, they do not directly rotate the aircraft. Rather, yung flight controls natin, they control different flight control surfaces. Okay? Iniiba niya yung distribution ng pressure natin on those surfaces. And of course, pag may difference in pressure dun sa surfaces na yon, nagkakaroon tayo ng changes in lift and drag. And yung change na yon, yung forces na yon, they create moments. Okay? And yung moment na yon, yung magro-rotate sa aircraft. Okay? So, flight controls. Yung aircraft control systems natin, they are generally classified into two main categories. Okay? We have the primary and secondary flight controls. So for the primary controls, of course, they are indispensable. They are primary nga eh. Kasi they provide the main controls natin about the three axes of rotation. So without them, safe flight would not be possible. Um, Under primary flight controls, included are the ailerons, the elevators, or the stabilator, and yung rudder. And then we also have yung secondary flight controls. They are not absolutely necessary for maintaining flight, but they are significantly introduced to the aircraft to improve performance, okay, to reduce pilot workload. So examples of these are yung flaps, slats, uh, spoilers, high lift devices, trim systems, and autopilot system. Okay? So aircraft access and control surfaces. So as we discussed na dun sa stability natin, so aircraft motion occurs about three mutually perpendicular axes. Tama? You have your longitudinal, lateral, and vertical axis. So you have yung meron tayo yung rotation about the longitudinal axis that would result into roll. Yung rotation about the lateral axis that would result into your pitching motion. Then you have yung rotation about the vertical axis which produces yaw. Okay? And then correspondingly, yung three primary control surface na yon, no, they are also responsible for um yun nga generating moment about the axis. And not only motions yung inaaral natin about those controls kasi um they're also directly linked no dun sa three types of static stability that we have. Tama? Yung we said yung rotation about the longitudinal axis, roll. Ang control natin doon is yung ailerons. Yung elevator naman generates pitching moment. Yung rudder naman natin generates yawing moments. And again, these moments, they create different stabilities. Okay? So we have yung for the longitudinal stability that is concerning yung pitching motion. Yung lateral stability naman concerns roll behavior, and then yung directional stability concerns yaw behavior. Okay? So yung control surfaces and stability, they are closely interconnected. Okay? Stability determines how the aircraft naturally reacts, while yung control surfaces natin, they allow the pilot to intentionally override yung tendencies na yun. Okay? So make sure to familiarize yourself about the control surfaces and their resulting moments kung saan sila nagro-rotate na axis and kung anong axis yung ini-stabilize nila. So next, yun nga, let's go yun over na dun sa primary controls natin. So again, primary flight controls, they are carefully designed to provide balance between maneuverability, responsiveness, and controllability. Okay? Yung primary flight controls natin at pag lumilipad tayo at low airspeeds, yung surfaces na yon, they would experience low dynamic pressure. So, pag low yung dynamic pressure na na-experience ng surface, what the surface would feel is soft and magiging less responsive yung controls natin. Okay? So, again, pag low yung airspeed, low yung dynamic pressure, it yung control surface natin would require larger deflections to actually produce yung mga desired moments natin. But as speed increases, yung aerodynamic forces natin, they also become stronger. Okay? And yung control response natin, they become much more sensitive. Okay? So, yung movement natin, any movement ng control surface would alter yung airflow around the wing or the airfoil. Okay? And that would change yung pressure distribution natin. And then yung pressure changes na yon, they would generate differences in lift and drag, which ultimately, again, would create yung moment natin. Okay? So, yung designers natin, they intentionally limit yung control surface deflections natin through stops and linkages. Okay? So, these limits, they prevent yung over-controlling and essentially protect yung structure natin from excessive aerodynamic loads. So, therefore, yung control systems natin, they are not designed simply to maximize effectiveness. Okay? Instead, they must provide adequate responsiveness while ensuring yung integrity natin. Okay? Yung structure integrity. Okay? So, going over one of the primary flight controls that we have, yung ailerons. Okay? So, yung ailerons natin are responsible for controlling yung roll. Okay? About what axis? The longitudinal axis. Okay? So, they are positioned near dun sa mga uh, sa outer trailing edge natin, no, ng bawat wing. Because yung location na yon, the outer edges, they provide the greatest moment arm. Tama? Relative to the aircraft center line. So, what would that do is it would maximize yung effectiveness nung moment natin or the rolling moment. So, yung two ailerons natin, left and right, they move differentially. Okay? When one moves upward, the other moves downward. So, suppose yung pilot natin commands a right roll, no? Yung right aileron natin, it would deflect upward. What that would do is it would reduce the camber of the right wing. A reduced camber would result to a decreased lift. Okay? Simultaneously, yung left aileron natin, it would deflect downward. So, increasing yung camber and also increasing yung lift. So, yung difference in lift na yun, again, it would create a rolling moment, which would rotate the aircraft to the right. Okay? So, again, notice yung roll control natin is achieved through, yun nga, the difference in lift production or asymmetric lift production rather than by directly applying a torque. Okay? So, from a design perspective, yung location and size ng ailerons natin, they would um, provide yung roll authority. Okay? So, we have also what we call the adverse yaw. So, one of the most important consequence nung nabanggit nating differential lift production is yung adverse yaw. Recall from your drag polar equation and analysis no that pag nag-increase tayo ng lift, it is also accompanied by an increased drag. Specifically, more specifically, yung CDI or the induced drag. Tama? So, when yung left wing natin, it generates more lift during a right roll, yung left wing na yun, it also produces more drag. So, consequently, yung aircraft natin would tend to yaw toward the wing with the higher lift and drag. Okay? So, in other words, yung nose natin, it would initially move opposite nung intended turn direction natin. So, yung undesirable effect na yun is also known as the adversio. Okay? Yung adversio natin, it becomes particularly severe at lower speeds because yung dynamic pressure natin is low. And yung, ibig sabihin, if yung dynamic pressure is low, larger control deflections are required. Okay? And if we do larger control deflections, yun nga, the differential, um, yung difference natin sa input ng lifts and drags would also be bigger. Okay? So, other reasons where adversio becomes more severe is if we have a higher angle of attack, okay, or if we are at high angles of attack, okay, especially pag maliit yung wingspan natin, okay. Also, um, to actually tawag dito tackle adversion, no, um, what we do is yung mga proper turn natin, no, or yung control natin, it requires the coordinated use nung aileron tsaka nung rudder. Okay? Para ma-counteract yung adversion natin. Okay? So, aside from adversio, yun nga, since we're talking about turns, no, executing a turn, no, is more complicated than just simply banking the aircraft. Kasi, um, almost lahat ng ating flight controls or yung control surfaces natin are involved kapag nagte-turn tayo. Okay? Yung ailerons natin, they would establish yung desired banking angle. Tama? Kasi roll moment yun eh. However, because of the adversio, no, um, again, of course, pag may yaw, we have, dapat meron tayong rudder input, no, simultaneously with the aileron input. So, para ma-control nga yung adversio. Furthermore, when yung aircraft natin nagbabank, yung lift vector natin, 'di ba nagtitilt? Of course, pag nagbank kayo, magtitilt din yung lift vector natin. Since yung vertical component lang ng lift natin yung nagsusupport dun sa weight ng aircraft, since not yung buong lift natin is a vertical component na some of it becomes a horizontal component, that would mean we have to generate an additional lift, no, to actually maintain yung weight nung aircraft. So to generate yung additional lift na yon, of course, yung angle of attack natin must increase. So that is only accomplished by what? Applying yung ating third control surface, which is yung elevator. Okay? That would increase the angle of attack ng ating aircraft, which would add lift. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, every coordinated turn involves the combination of all three primary control surfaces. The steeper yung bank angle natin, the greater the load factor. And ibig sabihin, the more elevator input is required. Okay? So, this relationship should be familiar to you guys na because we've already studied load factors no at the Venn diagram. Ibig sabihin, an increase in load factor during, yun nga, flight directly results to uh, equating to higher lift. Tama? Okay. So, to to reduce yung mga consequences natin ng differential lift, no, and um, tawag dito, phenomenons like adversio, since adversio is unavoidable, no, we have several methods to minimize the effect. Yung first approach natin is using differential ailerons. Okay? So, differential ailerons, pag yung upward moving aileron natin, um, ang ginagawa niyan is, yung upward moving aileron natin, it deflects a greater angle than the downward moving one. Okay? Hindi sila equal ng movement ng angle of attack. So, yung mas mataas na uh, angle of attack ng upward moving aileron, that would create additional drag. Okay? Para dun sa descending wing natin. So, what that would do is, it would partially balance yung ating drag symmetry. Another solution is yung paggamit ng freeze type ailerons. Sa design ng freeze type aileron, yung leading edge ng ating um, yung upward moving aileron natin, it actually protrudes a little bit downward into the airflow. Okay? And again, that would act as a drag producing surface. Okay? Then a third approach involves yung sabay na automatic na um, or yung pagkakouple ng ating aileron tsaka rudder. Okay? Sa system na yon, yung rudder input natin is automatically na-introduce whenever the ailerons are deflected. Yun yung coupled rudder and ailerons. And then finally, you also have some aircraft that uses flaperons, which is a combination ng functions ng flaps and ailerons. Okay? Although yung designs na yon, they reduce, yun nga, adverse yaw, none of these actually or completely eliminates it. It only helps us, yun nga, to control yung adverse yaw. And then next primary flight control we have is the elevator and pitch control. So yung elevator natin, it controls the aircraft's motion about the lateral axis. Okay? And it is arguably the most important primary control surface natin. Kasi again, it controls the pitching moment, which directly influences, again, yung angle of attack natin and airspeed. And angles of attack and airspeed, actually, yun yung parang one of our major factors in producing flight. Tama? So, when yung pilot natin, it pulls on the column, no? It pulls the column, control column aft. Yung elevator natin, it deflects upward. Okay? So, pag nag-deflect upward yung elevator, that changes yung camber. Tama? Ang mangyayari nun, pag yung elevator natin or stabilizer sa likod, no? Pag nag-change tayo ng camber, pag pinul natin, no? It would increase yung downward aerodynamic force dun sa tail. Okay? Because yung tail natin is located behind the center of gravity, yung downward force na yon, it creates a pitching moment that raises the nose. Okay? And then conversely, pag pinush natin yung control column forward, it would decrease the tail down force, causing, of course, the nose to pitch downward. Okay? Notice that yung elevator natin, it does not push the nose upward directly. Instead, again, it modifies the force acting on the tail, which then produces a moment about the center of gravity na, yun nga, i-rotate yung ating nose upward. Okay? The control does not rotate, like, hindi talaga siya nagro-rotate sa buong aircraft. What the control does, again, is affects yung control surface na, yun nga, it would modifies the force acting on that surface, which produces a moment that would rotate the aircraft. Okay? This is why yung position ng center of gravity natin and yung tail moment arm natin, they're extremely important parameters sa aircraft design, especially sa stability. Kasi, again, it affects a lot of the pitching moment. Factors affecting the elevator effectiveness. Although yung elevator natin is responsible for the pitch control, its effectiveness is influenced by a lot of other factors, geometric or aerodynamic. Okay, first we have yung tail moment arm. Again, recall on your statics, no, or structures, yung moment natin is equal to the force multiplied by the distance. Therefore, pag in-increase natin yung distance between the center of gravity and then the horizontal tail, um, that would produce a larger pitching moment kasi in-increase natin yung arm eh. So, lalaki yung moment. Tama? Kasi factor siya eh. So, this is again the one reason bakit yung meron tayong mga aircraft na mahaba yung mga fuselage. This is kapag mabigat yung center of gravity sa harap or mabigat yung nose down tendency ng aircraft, and it needs a lot of tail force to, yun nga, balance, no? And that is achieved kapag mas mahaba yung tail moment arm natin or yung fuselage. Second is yung horizontal tail area. A larger tail surface would generate greater aerodynamic forces. Therefore, again, greater moment, okay, or greater pitch authority. Third is we have yung airspeed. Again, airspeed is directly proportional sa maproproduce na aerodynamic force. And again, force, scalar siya sa moment. The larger the force, the larger the moment. So, the faster the airspeed, uh, yung elevator effectiveness natin increases. Okay? At lower speeds, such as during takeoff or landing, um, elevator effectiveness isn't as big. So, if elevator effectiveness isn't as, yun nga, effective, what you would do is to have larger deflections, no? Kasi pag mahina yung airspeed, kahit um yung maliit na input mo sa elevator, it would not affect the aircraft much. So you would need to have larger deflections. Okay? Another factor that would affect the elevator effectiveness is yung pag meron tayong downwash, no? Yung downwash natin from the main wing also affects yung local angle natin na nakikita dun sa tail. Okay? Pag excessive yung downwash natin, it may reduce yung control effectiveness natin kasi it reduces um yung speed na nararamdaman, yung angle na nararamdaman. So pag mas maliit yung forces na yun, mas maliit yung moment. Okay? Mas maliit yung control effectiveness. Again, larger deflection would be necessary. Finally, yung position ng ating center of gravity, it's also extremely important. Forward CG would require a larger tail force, no, to balance the aircraft, while a more aft CG reduces stability and may cause recovery difficulties during stall. Okay? So, yun. A lot of this, ito nga yung mga nakaka-apekto sa ating elevator effectiveness. So, next, um, like we said nga, di ba, factors that would affect yung sa um, pitching natin, no, pitching moment, is yung geometry. And yun nga, that would also involve yung tail configuration. So one configuration ng tail that has significant effect dun sa ating stability is yung T-tail configuration. Okay? Yung T-tail natin, it places yung horizontal stabilizer natin at the top ng vertical fin. Tama? Forming a characteristic T-shape arrangement. So one advantage ng configuration na to is yung tail natin at lower angles of attack, no? At steadier angles of attack, it would operate in relatively undisturbed airflow, tama, during normal flight. Since it is positioned above the wing, no? It is positioned above the vertical wing or the vertical fin. Ibig sabihin, yung wing wake natin, it doesn't hit yung ating horizontal stabilizers. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, yung elevator natin, it would respond smoother and more consistent. Okay? Detail arrangements are particularly common sa mga aircraft with rear-mounted engines kasi yun nga para ma-avoid yung exposure natin sa engine exhaust or yung wake ng ating nozzles. Okay? And then yung mga seaplane natin, seaplanes also benefit by using detail configurations so that yung stabilizers natin, horizontal stabilizers to be more precise, are farther from water sprays. However, yung advantages ng TTL, it comes with penalties. Yung high placement ng horizontal stabilizer natin, it increases yung bending loads sa vertical fin. Okay? So, it compromises the structural integrity ng ating vertical fin. Consequently, yung vertical stabilizers natin must be strengthened. So, which would result in an additional weight. Furthermore, pag low speed yung ating flight, yung TTL aircraft natin, they often require greater control surfaces or greater control force, no? Because they do not benefit from yung mga propeller wash over the tail surfaces. Okay? So another major concern is um, susceptibility to flutter. Okay? Kasi again, wala silang wake eh, walang nagpapahina sa force na nararamdaman nila. So they are more susceptible to flutter. So next, we also have the deep stall phenomenon, one of the most important hazards associated sa mga titil configuration natin. This phenomenon also known as deep stall. Recall na during stall natin, yung airflow natin, it separates from the wing. Tama? That forms a turbulent wake. Pag conventional tail, yung aircraft, yung horizontal tail natin often remains outside ng wake na yon. Okay? Makikita nyo dito. Kung conventional to, yung wake na ito is hindi masyado matatamaan. Pag conventional. However, in tidal aircraft, yung separated flow natin from the wing would blanket na yung horizontal tail natin pag T-tail. Okay? So as a result, yung elevator effectiveness natin is drastically reduced. Okay? This means yung pilot natin may command nose down input, but yung elevator natin cannot generate sufficient pitching moment to recover. Okay? So what would happen is dip stall. Okay? And yung dip stall natin, they are more likely under these conditions pag high yung angle of attack, pag low yung airspeed, or pag meron tayong aft center of gravity. Okay? Next, so we have the stabilator, no? Unlike unlike sa conventional tail natin where meron lang tayong elevator, no? Ay, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So, for stabilators, sa mga conventional tail natin kasi, madalas, elevator lang yung gumagalaw. Okay? So, pag stabilator naman, it consists of different, no? Or entire all moving horizontal surfaces. Okay? Like yung buong um, horizontal surface yung gumagalaw. Okay? Yun yung stabilator. So, because yung whole surface natin, it rotates, no? Stabilators generate much larger pitching moment, okay, for a given deflection. So, ibig sabihin, we have a high effectiveness, no, for a motion. So, that is particularly advantageous kapag high speeds where yung conventional elevators natin may suffer from reduced authority. However, yung increased effectiveness also means increased sensitivity. So even small pilot inputs can generate large pitching moments for larger surfaces like stabilators, which may lead to pilot-induced oscillations. Okay? So to address those problems, designers incorporate yung mga tinatawag nating anti-servo tabs. No? Um, Unlike ordinary trim tabs, no? Yung anti-servo tabs natin, kasi if you still record, no, trim tabs natin moves opposite the direction nung ating input para mabawasan yung um, tawag dito, effectiveness. Anti-servo tabs, on the other hand, moves in the same direction as the stabilator. So this would create um, aerodynamic resistance, no, and increase yung force required to move the surface. Okay, we also have yung to reduce sensitivity, meron tayong mga balance weights, no, to minimize yung flutter and improve yung dynamic stability. So, stabilators are common in high-performance aircraft where a lot of pitch authority is needed. Okay? And then, you also have the canards. Okay, so for canard configuration, it represents fundamentally different approach para sa ating longitudinal control. Okay, kasi sa conventional aircraft, yung horizontal tail natin usually produces downward force, tama, to balance the aircraft's nose down tendency. So, for conventional aircrafts, this means yung wing natin must generate enough lift, no? Not only to support the aircraft weight, but also to overcome yung negative lift ng ating tail. But in contrast, for canard configurations, yung canard surface natin, they generate positive lift. Okay? So consequently, both the canard and the main wing contributes to supporting the aircraft. So from a theoretical standpoint, this would reduce yung trim natin. Tama? So if yun nga, this is kapag we have huge tail forces, no? Kaya magiging maganda si canard configuration. Okay? Another advantage for canard configuration is during stall behavior. Okay? Yung canard aircrafts, they are often designed so that yung forward surface natin, it's stall first. Once yung canard natin nag-stall, yung nose natin, it automatically drops. Okay? So it would prevent yung main wing natin from entering a deeper stall. Tama? Kasi if nauna na mag-stall yung canard, automatic, ipupush niya yung nose natin down. So, it would not help essentially to, uh, it would not add, no, sa pagproproduce ng stall condition para sa main wing natin. Pero again, despite these advantages, canard designs also involves, um, tawag dito, would we call it disadvantage? Of course. Kasi, we're involving complex interactions na between two lifting surfaces. Okay? And that would require a lot of careful aerodynamic optimization. Okay? Then third control that we have is yung rudder, which controls motion about the vertical axis and which is responsible for yawing the aircraft. So when yung rudder natin, it deflects, it produces a side force dun na sa ating vertical tail. Okay? And because yung force na yun nag-act behind the center of gravity, it creates a yawing moment, no, that rotates the aircraft. So for example, if we deflect the rudder to the left, it would push the tail to the right. So if the tail pushes to the right, yung nose natin, it would yaw to the left. Okay? So yung rudder effectiveness natin, it increases also with speed because again, uh, aerodynamic force generated is proportional to dynamic pressure. And then yung dynamic pressure na yun is what is needed, yun nga, to deflect or add deflection to the rudder. Or rather, add force, no, to the rudder. Okay? So for propeller-driven aircrafts, they experience an additional benefit, no? Kasi if you recall, yung propeller slipstream, no? Yung propeller slipstream, it increases airflow over the vertical tail. Tama? It enhances the rudder authority in one direction. Although yung rudder natin is often associated with turning, its primary purpose is, yun nga, maintaining directional stability or coordinating the flight. So it is essential for, yun nga, um, pag, pagkocontrol kung saan talaga pupunta yung ating aircraft. Okay? So regarding the yaw control, we have one configuration here that affects, no, those flight control. We have the VTOL configuration. So sa VTOL configuration, yung functions ng ating elevator and rudder are combined into two inclined surfaces. Most often time, the VTOL configuration, yung control surface on that configuration is called the rudder vator. So these surfaces, they act simultaneously as a horizontal and a vertical stabilizer all in one. So pag nag-input tayo ng pitch, both surface actually move. Okay? So pag nag-input tayo ng yaw, again, both surfaces move. Okay? So yung arrangement na yon, it reduces the number of tail surfaces. Tama? Which can potentially reduce weight and wetted area. However, yung control mechanisms becomes more complicated because you have to mix systems. So we have to combine rudder and elevator commands at the precise inputs. So another drawback is yun nga, increased susceptibility to Dutch roll. Okay? Yung oscillation that is produced due to the interaction of yaw and roll. Okay? So therefore, while yung VTL natin offers some aerodynamic benefits, no, its complexity and stability issues often outweighs yung relatively small drag reduction natin from the reduced structure para sa tail. Okay, so now we move sa secondary flight controls. So secondary flight controls, again, yung primary controls natin, they provide maneuverability. Tama? But for secondary controls, what they do is improve performance and handling qualities. Okay, yung primary controls actually controls the aircraft, but if we want better control, we have the secondary flight controls. Okay? So these systems, they are designed to optimize yung aircraft operation natin in different phases of flight. Examples ng secondary flight controls natin are flaps, leading edge devices, spoilers, trim systems, and autopilots. So yung secondary control systems natin, again, they enable the aircraft to operate efficiently over a much wider range of conditions. Now, that would not be otherwise possible with just primary controls. Okay? So, the primary purpose ng ating secondary flight controls is not control, but rather performance enhancement. Okay? And also workload reduction. So, let's go over one of those. We have the flaps. Flaps are high lift devices, no, located on the trailing edge of the wing. So the main purpose is to deflecting the flaps would increase wing camber, and consequently, of course, that would increase the coefficient of lift. This would allow yung aircraft natin to fly safely at lower speeds, especially during takeoffs and landing, kasi they produce higher lift. Okay? Even though yun nga low yung speed, um, because of the deflection of the flaps, we increase the lift without um, actually an increase in velocity. However, flap deployment also increases induced drag. Thus, yung flaps natin, they represent a compromise between lift and drag. But from an aerodynamic perspective, yung flaps natin, again, they allow the designers to optimize the aircraft for both high-speed cruise and low-speed operation. Without the flaps, um, if we want yun nga, yung low stall speeds, um, we would require a larger wing. Okay? Which would penalize yung ating cruise performance. For the types of flaps, we have um, one, yung simplest type natin, yung plain flap, which simply or merely increases the wing camber. We also have the split flaps. No, they provide slightly greater lift than the plain flaps, but they generate substantial drag due to the separated flow behind the wing. We also have yung slotted flaps. They introduce a gap, no? Pag deflect tayo ng flap, it introduces a gap that channels high energy from the lower surface into the upper surface, reinvigorating yung flow ng air above the um, upper surface. So, what that do is delay yung ating boundary layer separation. And of course, significantly increases the maximum lift coefficient. We also have yung Fowler flaps. They represent one of the most sophisticated design for the flaps, no? Unlike yung ordinary flaps natin, they not only increase yung camber but also it increases the wing area by translating yung rearward motion neto into an increased surface. Okay? So this would allow a very large increase in lift while um, relatively moderate drag penalties during early stages of the extension. So for modern transport aircraft, often they employ yung mga double, triple slatted Fowler flaps. This is again to maximize CL max, okay? Especially for landing. Then, aside from the flaps, which are mostly trailing edge, no, we also have yung leading edge devices. So again, high lift devices are not limited to the trailing edge. Leading edge devices also, yun nga, improves a lot for our flights and controls. What leading edge devices do is they improve stall characteristics and also increase maximum lift coefficient. So for example, you have the fixed slots, no? Yung fixed slots natin, it allows the airflow to remain attached at higher angles of attack. For the movable slots naman, they extend forward, no? And then, like yung sa slotted flap natin, upon extending forward, they create, yun nga, a slot that energizes the boundary layer on the upper surface. So that would delay the flow separation. Then you also have yung leading edge flaps that yun nga, increase camber and often work together with trailing edge flaps. We also have yung leading edge cuffs, no? They are fixed modifications. They what they do is they alter the shape ng ating leading edge, which is used for improve low speed performance. So all of these devices, again, they are extremely important because um, mostly they allow the aircraft to operate at safely at lower speeds. Okay? While also preserving yung high speed cruise efficiency natin. So more secondary flight control we have is the spoilers. Yung spoilers naman natin, they operate by intentionally destroying lift. So when deployed, they disrupt no the smooth airflow over the wing and they produce significant increase in drag. So yung ginagawa nila yon is may purpose din naman, no? So for example, during descent, no, they increase yung drag natin to allow steeper descent paths. Okay? Without excessive acceleration. Okay? Also for roll, no? Uh, pag meron tayong differential spoiler deployment, they can also generate rolling moments without producing adverse yaw. And then, for spoilers naman, after landing, no, pag nagland na yung aircraft natin, we also have yung ground spoilers that rapidly destroys lift, no, slowing down the aircraft. Okay? It it destroys lift, and then pag of course if we destroy the lift, the weight will be more felt by the aircraft. So we can call that yun nga yung aircraft weight natin would be transferred to the landing gear. Therefore, improving yung ating braking effectiveness. So again, yun yung function ng ating spoilers, mainly to destroy lift for purposes like landing or descent or slowing down or braking. Then we also have the trim systems. This is a more complex, no, more complex secondary flight controls kasi it involves a lot of differential movement to the main flight controls. But uh, in general, no, uh, yung trim systems natin, let's say, yung aircraft kasi natin, it's naturally balanced, no, by design. But only for a specific combination of speed, altitude, power setting, and configuration. So, whenever yung conditions na yun change, um, control forces are generated. So, maintaining constant control pressure would of course, fatigue the pilot, no? Hindi puwedeng ang hawak lang ni pilot ng sobrang diin yung ating or naka-pull lang si pilot ng sobrang diin dun sa ating mga control. What what would alleviate that scenario is yun nga, yung trim system natin. So yung trim systems natin, it eliminates yung problem by providing aerodynamic balancing force. Kasi for trim systems, a lot of them, they counteract the movement of the primary control. Okay? This is again to, yun nga, para mas mahina or hindi ganun kalakas yung input ng piloto, but it would essentially achieve the same result. Okay? So, typically, yung pilots natin, again, they would establish a desired speed and altitude first. And then, they would trim the aircraft to remove yung control forces. So, hindi na nila kailangan, sometimes they don't even have to control na once they have deflected yung trim system. Okay? Yun yung purpose ng ating trim systems. So, we have different types of trim devices, yung mga trim tabs. Yung trim tabs natin, they move opposite the primary surface. And yun nga, generate a balancing moment. We also have yung balance tabs. They reduce the force required to move the control surface. You have the servo tabs. Servo tabs actually use aerodynamic force to help move yung main control surface natin itself. Okay? They are primarily useful sa mga large aircraft. You also have the anti-servo tabs. Yung anti-servo tabs natin, unlike the other tabs, they move in the same direction as the stabilator. Okay? What that does is it reduces the excessive sensitivity para sa ating stabilators. You also have yung ground adjustable tabs. They are fixed devices, no? Fixed na yan, naka-design na yan sa um tawag dito, sa aircraft mismo. They are there um to compensate for different inherent designs. Especially pag meron tayong manufacturing asymmetries, yon, meron tayong ground adjustable tabs. Some aircrafts also employ yung adjustable stabilizers, no? Where yung entire horizontal stabilizer natin may change in incidence. Okay? Rather than using a small trim tab, yung stabilizer natin adjustable, no? Na adjust yung incidence natin, na yung incidence niya. So again, these systems, they illustrate how aerodynamic forces can be exploited to reduce yung workload or yung pilot effort. Okay? That's the main purpose ng ating trim devices. Then finally, we have yung autopilot systems. So, autopilot system represents the highest level of flight control automation. Yung purpose nila is to reduce, again, pilot workload and also improve safety. Okay? So, modern autopilots, yun, can maintain yung heading, can maintain altitudes, can maintain vertical speeds, air speeds, or even maintain navigation tracks. Okay? So, yun yung purpose ng ating autopilot system. Okay, so since most aircrafts naman, no, most modern aircrafts, they are fly-by-wire aircraft naman na. Yung autopilot natin, autopilot systems, they are fully integrated na sa mga flight computers, no, sa avionics, sa cockpit. So this is yung mga system na yun, they continuously process different information such as yung mga navigation systems, GPS sensors, even to automatically command yung mga control surfaces natin. But despite this technological advancement, despite this sophistication that they have, autopilots are always integrated and designed so that they would have these connection features. Okay? This is to make sure na meron pa rin tayong manual override. Okay? To ensure na pilot authority remains paramount for the tawag dito, for the whole aircraft. Okay? Kasi of course, humans are still safer than machine errors. Okay? We know mas ano tayo, mas tawag dito, mas thinking beings tayo eh. So even though machines make things more efficient, it does not necessarily make them totally smart. Okay, that's why pilot authority, the human authority, remains paramount for all of these systems. So that's pretty much it for stability and control conceptuals for aircraft design. Okay, thank you.